Okay, welcome everybody to Come Back to Love morning gathering. It's December 18th. Just want to invite you to have a breath and gently close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths, really deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. And do that a couple of times, relaxing your body so that the breath can really inspire you. You can deeply receive. And then exhale. Nice long exhalation. And we'll do that again, in through the nose. Pause at the top of the inhalation. And then exhale. And pause at the bottom of the exhalation. And then when your body naturally requires, inhale and pause. And then exhale. And pause. And do that a couple times on your own. As you inhale, when you get kind of to the top of that inhale, pause for a moment. And as you're pausing, expand and relax your body rather than contract and hold. And the same thing at the bottom of the exhalation. When you get there, hold, relax. And then one more round. This practice is actually so profound because it teaches us to relax when there's space, when there's a pause, when there's quote unquote nothing to do. In our culture, we tend to, instead of relaxing in that space, we tend to contract and get anxious and look around and try to fill the time. With this really simple practice of being with the pauses, teaches us to be with the pauses. Then bring your attention to the earth beneath you. I don't know if it's the same where you are, but where I am, it's very passionate out there. It's very, very passionate out there right now. As you lower your walls and barriers and invite that passion in, another place where we typically contract, we can contract and hold and get anxious. But instead, what would it take and what would happen if we relaxed, lowered walls and barriers, and allow that energy to be? Either receive it more deeply or just allow it more deeply. Without judgment, without presumptive realities, without conclusions about what it means. And then with that, as you step into more allowance, allow your energy fields to expand. Way out, way out. Start with the four corners of your room, if that's easier, because it definitely can be. Don't forget above and below. And then continue expanding out into the town and city, the state. Keep going across the country, across the continent. Keep going across the ocean and the seas. Bring the awareness of your energy field all the way around the globe, surrounding this beautiful earth with love. Because your being is love at its core, in the full essence of who you are. So as you expand your field, you're blessing every single seen and unseen being around the entire planet. And then out into the universe, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets. And then what would it take from this expansive space, this infinite space that is who you truly are? What would it take to allow all of the, I'm going to use the same adjective, passionate energy that's out there? You can label it anything else. But if we just use that word, which just means there's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, whatever judgments and conclusions you have about the passion and energy that's out there, what would it take to come to a place of allowance for what is right now, knowing that the hard pill to swallow is that this is all about an evolution, an ascension of the humans, an ascension of the earth. And often we have to go through dark night of the soul in order to ascend. So what would it take to be coming back to that infinite space? Because I can feel with words, sometimes we go back in. So let's go back out. Just reestablish your field around the globe, out into the universe. Big, big, big. Infinite, infinite, bigger than you can even imagine, right? Like we can't really perceive infinite space. But let's say we could, and you're in the perception of yourself as an infinite being of the infinite. What would it take to be an allowance of all there is? And actually means not going into conclusion, not going into presumptions, not going into fear, not going into story, but just being with what is. So with that, I invite you to have a deep breath into that space, because that feels like the perfect space to breathe into. And then as you open your eyes, staying with that feeling, that infinite feeling, as you open your eyes and come back.
You're on mute, Robin.
Sorry, I was on mute. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. I'm going to come off the spotlight. Oh, I'm going to pause the recording.